Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Welcome back to Outlaws and Gunslingers. Bang a Dang here for another edition of your true crime fix here. There, man.
We're making some of the biggest waves seen out there, man.
Right, seen out there, man.
Some of the biggest waves that are out there.
Man.
I don't know.
This one might be a little short one.
It's gonna be a fun episode.
We're gonna have a great time.
Have a great time. Hopefully,
Really good stuff.
hopefully you guys will enjoy this.
And just
I mean, that's what we do here, guys. We just bring stuff out, content that our listeners could enjoy, man. It's fun.
the thousands of them, and man.
I mean, we're making some of the biggest waves that are out there, man.
Right. With that being said, we are on to another episode. On to the next one. On to the next one. And we're back in the bank robbery category of Outlaws and Gunslingers. This one being in the 60s, if you believe it or not. I guess banks still get robbed.
Of course.
But it's probably gonna be a short one, not too long, I would imagine. I never heard of these guys before, but the FBI heard of them because they took them down. They're talking about Albert Nussbaum, Nussbaum, and Bobby Wilcoxson. Robbed a couple banks in the 60s, went on the run, and then all that good stuff. You know what usually happens in these episodes.
Right.
When Nussbaum was born in Buffalo, New York, in the late 50s, he was arrested for possessing a Thompson machine gun, Tommy gun, and transporting unregistered weapons across state lines. So you can do it registered across state lines?
Why not?
I don't know. He was sentenced to the federal reformatory at Chillicothe, Ohio, and supposedly was extremely intelligent. Aren't they all?
Aren't they all?
Aren't they all? He regularly competed in top-tier chess tournaments by correspondence from his Ohio jail cell.
Okay.
By correspondence.
All right.
So somebody would be like, well, he moved to E3. He's like, well, move the horse to F6.
Right.
Right. He was also an expert photographer, a locksmith, a gunsmith, a pilot, as well as an accomplished airplane mechanic, a welder, and a draftsman.
Hey, this guy could do it all. He's the jack of trades.
Jack of all trades, technical drawing, a draftsman. Yeah, so he drafted up blueprints and stuff. What does that saying? A jack of all trades, but a master of none?
Master of none.
But is often better than
most.
Master of one.
Right.
All right.
I mean,
I was at the federal reformatory at Chillicothe.
Sure.
That he would meet his bank robber buddy, Bobby Wilcoxson, and later accomplice, Peter Curry.
Right. Well, we're going to start off with Bobby Randall Wilcoxson.
Wilcoxson.
Was born 10th of July, 1929 in Duke, Oklahoma. He was well respected as an efficient crew foreman in the lettuce fields of the Salinas Valley in California.
Salinas. Look at lettuce from Salinas.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang it on my wall because he spoke Spanish and intimidated laborers in Spanish.
He was respected as efficient because he spoke Spanish and intimidated laborers. What's it got to do with efficient? Mm-hmm. Well, efficient crew foreman. Right. So I guess everybody was like, you got to listen to Bobby.
Once he starts speaking in Spanish.
Right. Got to listen to Bobby, Holmes.
He worked in the produce business in Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas. Wilcoxson also worked as a house painter.
Oh, geez.
Service station attendant.
Decorator, if you know what I mean.
Right. And he pumped gas and cleaned your windshield at a service station. And also, he sold you that piece of shit car that he's pumping your gas with.
Reminds me of Happy Gilmore. I was a gas station attendant, a plumber.
Right. So, so he was a used car salesman, and then he was like, I'm done with this. I want to be a pro criminal.
He said he walked out of the car salesman thing. He was like, guys, I'm turning pro.
Turning pro, guys.
Pro at what? Criminal.
Criminality.
Within a year of leaving Chillicothe, Nussbaum and Wilcoxson hooked up in Buffalo with a plan to rob banks. The FBI would eventually label Nussbaum the brains of the team, while Wilcoxson was marked as the brawn.
Right.
They knocked over a few local stores and service stations in Buffalo
just to warm up.
To raise seed money for an arsenal of weapons they would soon use robbing banks.
So they took donations.
Pretty much. I'll take your donation. Thank you kindly. Nussbaum and One Eye Wilcoxson allegedly robbed, I guess his name is One Eye Wilcoxson now.
They thought brought that up finally.
Right. Allegedly robbed at least 8 banks from 1960 to 62, hauling in at least $250,000, roughly equivalent to $2.8 million as of 2008. So
Nice.
probably about $3.2 million nowadays.
Or maybe 2.5.
Yeah, right.
Nussbaum and Wilcoxson acquired deactivated military.
This is as bad as the hell was it in the Outlaws or the Civil War episode?
Oh yeah,
Kilpatrick.
Kilpatrick.
Like Kilpatrick.
Kilpatrick. Anyway, they acquired deactivated military weapons called DWATs.
DWATs.
With parts they acquired by mail order, they refurbished the weapons to brand new. The cash.
So you could get parts from mail to fix deactivated military weapons?
I suppose you could there, right?
Okay.
Their cache of munitions included revolvers, shotguns, submachine guns, hand grenades, M1 carbine military rifles, and military-style armor-piercing anti-tank guns that could annihilate, what the hell? Annihilate pursuing police cars or pierce bank vaults.
Yeah, these guys got the hell of an arsenal there.
These boys got something.
Oh. Nussbaum taught himself to make pipe bombs, circa CM Punk. He and Wilcoxson posed as mad bombers, quote unquote.
You can't do that.
Setting off 2 bombs in Washington, D.C. on June 15th and 16th in 1961.
Dang, they did it 2 days in a row in the nation's capital?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They made several telephone calls pretending to be Southern white supremacists bombing Capitol in protest of integration and the civil rights movement. The bombings were planned to distract law enforcement and manpower near the White House so a Washington, D.C. bank could be easily robbed on June 30th.
Go.
Although 2 bombs were set off successfully, there was a 3rd bomb that failed to detonate, and the FBI lifted Nussbaum's fingerprints from it.
Oh, no.
Still, the pair went ahead and robbed the bank anyways.
Nussbaum.
I thought he was smart.
Right. Use
Wear
gloves,
dude.
Jeez. He's got to know, too, when it didn't go off. He's like,
He's probably like, damn it.
dang, I'm not even going to say anything to Wilcoxson.
Well, we'll still rob this bank.
Right.
Get the money and get out of here.
Right. 15th December, 1961. Curry, the beforementioned, right?
Aforementioned. Yes.
Foreshadowing.
Aforementioned.
Anyway, the guy we talked about earlier, Curry, joined Wilcoxson and Nussbaum to rob a branch of the Lafayette National Bank in Brooklyn. Oh, they're going to Brooklyn, huh? Boys going down to Brooklyn. Wilcoxson entered the bank and killed guard Henry Cross with 4 quick shots from a Thompson machine gun. Dang, it's a done. A fleeing customer alerted police. They're gonna kill the guard, but just let the guy run out of the bank. And
well, yeah, they needed to kill the guard because he had a gun.
Right, but then let that guy run out of the bank.
I mean, what are you gonna do, man?
Kill him.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Right. Well, anyway, the fleeing customer alerted police. Wilcoxson got into a gun battle with one officer who was wounded, but he survived.
Oh, good for him.
All 3 criminals got away, barely. But Curry was arrested in front of his mother's house by the FBI in February of 1962. So just a few short months later,
yeah.
he told the FBI that he knew about Nussbaum and Wilcoxson.
Of course.
And led them to the countryside in Buffalo, where the pair had hidden a massive cache of weapons. The FBI named Wilcoxson to the famous Most Wanted list, February 23rd, 1962. Then added Nussbaum, April 3rd, 1962.
Whole 2 months later. Wilcoxson was the one that killed the guy.
Yeah, but they had his fingerprints, Nussbaum's.
Maybe. Did they, though?
Mm-hmm. He's the one that was on the bomb.
Yeah, but maybe. Oh, that's true. His fingerprints were already in the system from him going to prison, so
right.
It's not like they couldn't know who they were.
Right.
Right. The FBI circulated over 1 million wanted posters and interviewed over 9,000 in New York State alone.
Dang. They went strong on this one.
Yeah, I know, right? The FBI declared the bandits as dangerous, warning the pair were armed with hand grenades and 25 submachine guns.
Oh, no.
How do you? I don't think they're carrying 25 machine guns on them.
Right.
They will not hesitate to open fire. The posters warned.
Ask the cop and the security guard, and they'll tell you. I don't know if the security guard made it. No, he died.
He died.
Cop lived.
When rumors placed the robbers in Canada and the United Kingdom, the Canadian Royal Mounted Police was like, hey. And the Bobbies of Scotland Yard joined the manhunt.
Uh-oh.
They're called Bobbies.
Yeah.
600 FBI agents searched worldwide for Nussbaum, Wilcoxson, and Wilcoxson's 19-year-old paramour, girlfriend, Jacqueline Ruth Rose of Paoli, Indiana, and Delray Beach, Florida. Double-homed biatch.
Dang, he got a country girl from Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Delray Beach. That sounds hick.
Right.
The two men, along with Jackie Rose, Jackie Moon, became national fugitives and were forced into hiding.
Yes, they were.
They began using aliases and wearing disguises.
Why wouldn't
Still, they committed 3 more robberies.
Nice. I mean, you can when you got somebody else's name and got glasses and a...
Right, and you got the fake mustache and all that stuff.
Right, Humpty Dumpty. Do the Humpty Dumpty. Do the Humpty Dump. Right? What are those glasses called?
Do the Humpty Dance. Is that what you're talking about?
The Humpty Dumpty. Do the Humpty Dumpty. Right, something like that. What?
There's no such thing as...
Digital Underground.
There's no... Oh.
Do the Humpty Dumpty or some shit like that, wasn't it?
Well, these guys... there's no song called the Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah. Do the Humpty Dump or something like that.
Yeah,
do the Humpty Hump.
Do the Humpty Hump.
No.
Humpty Hump.
Is it the Humpty Hump? Yeah, those guys. The Humpty Dance.
You know who the background dancers are for this?
Toothpick and somebody else.
Toothpick?
Do the Humpty Hump. Do the Humpty Hump.
Oh, dude, it does have those glasses on. How do you remember this? The video, anyways.
Easily. I've probably seen it. That's so many years ago. Do the Humpty Dance. I think that's how it goes, yeah. Dang.
Dance to that dance to the Bantam dance, right?
Do the Humpty Dumpty. Do the Humpty Dumpty, right? Go do the Humpty Hump.
Apparently the Humpty Hump. Oh, that's because he's falling.
All right.
All right, good stuff, guys. The Humpty Hump.
Yeah, Digity Underground.
All right, do the Humpty Hump.
Digity Underground.
Digity fidgety.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, they committed 3 more robberies doing the Humpty Hump.
4th of November, 1962. Nussbaum's mother-in-law informed the FBI that Nussbaum was in Buffalo to secretly visit his wife and infant daughter.
Can't do that, bud.
What do you expect me to do? You think they don't know? Everybody knows.
Karen,
what?
You know why those guys go to prison? Because they want to.
Oh, jeez. Oh, poor George Young was so shocked when his mom said that. He was like, "What? You?"
Oh.
I don't know why he was so shocked. I had to do it. He's like, "What? You motherfucker." Anyhow, where we at?
They all know. They were talking.
Your son ain't no picnic or what's that? Your son ain't no something. What are you looking at, Mrs. Whatever?
Really, Karen? Wasn't her name Karen in that, too?
Yeah, we're like Karen.
Oh, shit. I never even put that two together. Ray Liotta and her are the same person, right? Isn't the mom,
I don't think she played the mom in Goodfellas.
Yeah, she was the
wife? Are you sure?
Yeah,
Oh, she was.
Lauren Brokovich, right? Lauren, Brockvich or something.
Brockvich, I think. B-R-O-C-K Vitch.
I think it's the same chick, right? And they're together in the movie. Both movies. Give me people.
They trying to imply that his dad's Henry Hill. Right there. Rachel Griffiths.
That's not her?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
It's Ermin. That wasn't Karen. It was Ermin.
Ermine Young.
It was Ermin. Ermin.
It's not her.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the girl he married.
Oh,
yes. Isn't that the girl that he married?
Oh. That's Penelope Cruz.
No, Barbara.
Yeah, and Barbara. No, that's her.
No.
Yes. Ermin.
Blow mom. Calls police. There we go.
I had to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she looks like him. She looks like her, though.
Of course. He sees that shit. He's like, fuck. Broke his dad's heart.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking his dad's heart.
I had no choice.
He's like, what?
It was you.
Ermin.
What was I supposed to do? What is
Irma.
I always thought he said Irma.
supposed to be an accomplice? You don't think people know you're a drug dealer? Everyone knows you're a drug dealer. It's no secret. How do you think that reflects on me? Every time I go out on
She seems so stiff.
go to jail.
It's
It's for your own good.
for your own good.
You need to straighten your life.
I gotta take a look around the neighborhood.
Oh, I didn't even do it. Okay, Irvine.
She's so stiff in that movie.
I thought it was the other chick that played Karen in, what you call it?
Anyway, 4th November 1962, Nussbaum's mother-in-law informed the FBI that Nussbaum was in Buffalo, visiting his wife and daughter. More than 30 FBI cars surrounding the Statler Hilton Hotel. 1 a.m., 4th
They
of
always
November.
come in the late night.
Right. Nussbaum arrived.
Criminals enjoy their sleep.
They don't even sleep that late.
Well, it's true.
Nussbaum arrived and expecting to pick up his wife, Alicia. Yep, somehow signaled her husband, and he raced out of the hotel parking lot, leading a parade of FBI agents on a 100-mile-an-hour chase through the cold, wet streets of Buffalo. A police dog catcher rammed Nussbaum's car. And they got the old
A police dog catcher?
dog coppers. He was a dog catcher. Wait, a police dog catcher. Wait, he
They had dog catchers. The police were dog catchers back in the day?
he was a police dog catcher. he tries to steal the dogs from.
Yeah. Apparently it was a dog catcher truck, but it was a police version of it. Maybe they'd use them, like, take out the dogs for criminals or something, you know?
They have that big a problem with dogs in Buffalo in 1962.
Maybe.
Wow. Anyway, the police dog catcher rammed Nussbaum's car, and the FBI arrested him. By May 1963, Nussbaum pleaded guilty to the murder of bank guard Kraus and 7 bank robberies. What?
Wait, Nussbaum didn't kill him. Thought Wilcoxson did.
I thought so too.
Right?
For sure, Wilcoxson fired on the cop, right?
Yeah, because Wilcoxson was added to the list first. Wilcoxson entered the bank and killed guard Hand. Yeah.
Right.
So why the hell Nussbaum? I guess he's accomplice, right?
Right.
Still guilty by association.
By May 1963, Nussbaum pleaded guilty to the murder of bank guard Cross and 7 bank robberies. February 8th, 1964. So 2 years after the robbery. Almost.
3 years.
Nussbaum was sentenced to 40 years in prison with eligibility of parole. 1971.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so you can do, what, 8 years?
Yeah, it'd be good. Mid-morning on November 10th, 1962, Wilcoxson and Rose came out of their rented home in Baltimore, where they encountered a swarm of 30 FBI agents.
Ooh.
To avoid a death sentence, Wilcoxson pleaded guilty to 8 bank robberies and the murder of Kraus.
Well,
He was sentenced to life in prison on April of 1964 with eligibility for parole in 1979. He's life in prison and still can get out on parole for murdering somebody in 1979. You know he's going to.
yeah, but he gets to get out way after.
8 years. Like, he was the one that pulled the trigger, so... Wilcoxson went to the United States Penitentiary in Atlanta, Georgia on March 3rd, 1964.
This dude's doing 15 years. Guaranteed.
On July 11th, 1980, he was transferred to the United States Penitentiary in Leavenworth.
Hey, he was transferred? Oh, so he didn't even get parole in 79, huh?
Oh, in 80.
Oh. Wilcoxson was paroled to Chattanooga. That's in Tennessee, folks.
Damn, did they choose where to send him? Like, he's not even from Chattanooga,
Yeah,
so they're like,
we're
you're going to go to
gonna send him.
Chattanooga.
He's like, here, Wilcoxson, you take this dart. Throw it at that map, bud. Why? Because that's where you're going.
He was trying to hit New York, but was a little low.
Yeah. Oh, they took that part out. They're like, where's the East Coast? It's gone for you, bud. Anyway, they paroled Wilcoxson in Chattanooga in early 1982. His freedom was short-lived, though. October 23rd, 1982. Robert Mosher, a chemical engineer of the DuPont Corporation, was moited. A piece of plastic tarp and 10 inches of a mop handle were shoved.
Oh, jeez.
Damn, were shoved down his throat.
And a piece of plastic tarp?
I wonder why he used the tarp.
Shut him up?
All right, and then just said he ain't shutting up, so just
Jammed it down? Or maybe he used the mop handle to jam it down there.
possible, and he killed him.
Well, jeez, that's a pretty...
That's a terrible
brutal way to do that.
You ain't kidding. Wilcoxson was indicted. Oh, no.
Indicted!
For the homicide on 19th of December, 1985.
Oh, poor guy. Only
So
was
3
out
years
for 3
later.
years. Come on, dude.
He was convicted on the 1st of November, 1986 in the Hamilton County, Tennessee Criminal Court of first-degree murder
Why does
for
it take
killing
that long? It's so stupid.
Robert
It was
Mosher.
almost a
Yeah.
year before he was convicted. It's so
Right.
dumb. So get the shit over with.
Stupid.
Mosher's wife, Evelyn, allegedly hired Wilcoxson to murder her husband. Oh, okay. Murder her husband so she could collect life insurance benefits of $209,000.
Wow.
Evelyn Mosher never paid Wilcoxson.
Oh,
She
really?
was convicted for contracting the murder of her husband and received a life sentence as well.
Oh.
Wilcoxson was sentenced to death by electrocution on February 13th, 1987.
Ooh.
In 1999, his death sentence was reversed on appeal for ineffective legal representation.
So they sentenced him to death in 1987, but he was still alive 12 years later.
Oh, bizarre, man. While awaiting an appeal of his conviction, Bobby Randall Wilcoxson died of natural causes on December 9, 2006 at the age of 77 while in the custody of the Tennessee Department of Corrections.
So this dude just lived his whole life in prison.
In prison.
Wow.
He was still awaiting his appeal. His death sentence was reversed, and then he repealed again. That's stupid that appeals take that long, too, dude.
Right.
It's 5 years for an appeal.
And then when you were like, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't do it. Or something like that. You know,
There's 40 years he's
Right.
just gone, right?
how many people have been in prison for heard that story millions of times, and it's ridiculous. Well, while running to the FBI, well, he's running
not
from. He was running from the FBI.
They're in a field.
Dun, dun,
Now I
dun, dun,
run to you. Yeah.
dun, dun, dun. It's always the music on Naruto Children. When Al Bundy's always in the slow
Yeah.
motion. Yeah. Dun,
Whatever,
dun,
like,
dun.
They're running for tickets or whatever.
Yeah, it's something, man. While running for tickets, while running from the FBI, Nussbaum bought himself a portable typewriter and presented himself as a writer.
Isn't every typewriter portable?
Right. Now, some of them are really, really heavy. So he was like, I am a writer.
I am Nussbaum.
Right. He read The Name of the Game is Death, a mystery crime novel by Dan J. Marlowe, a popular pulp fiction writer of the day. Nussbaum, using the name Carl Fisher, and you always got a pen name, man, so.
Fisher with a CH.
Right. Yeah, so that's his pen name, Carl Fisher, called Marlowe's agent and sent Marlowe letters praising the realness of the book. Marlowe and Nussbaum remained friends while Nussbaum was in prison.
Oh, good for him getting friends in the joint. Marlowe encouraged Nussbaum to write, and the two often collaborated.
Hey.
Nussbaum provided Marlowe with professional criminal techniques that added even more realism to Marlowe's body of work.
Dang.
Good for him.
Nice.
While still in prison, Nussbaum began contributing to the Montreal-based film magazine Take One.
Okay.
In 1976, the magazine featured him in full-page advertisements, The Pros and Con of Take One.
Hey, the pros and con.
Right.
Nice. I like it. Nussbaum was paroled in the 1970s and lived with Marlowe, serving as a caretaker when Marlowe took ill. Nussbaum wrote a lot, publishing as Albert Nussbaum, and under at least a half a dozen pseudonyms, including Carl Martin, Albert Avellino, A.F. Orenschnick, and Albert N. Martin. Alberto N. Martin. I can have a last name Martin, but your first name Alberto. Alberto Martin. That's it. Where's the S?
It's Alberto Martin.
Martin. Alberto Carl Martin. Alberto Carl Martin. Anyhow, he specialized in mystery, crime, and adventure stories. Of course he would. I'm surprised there's no romance in there. I'm sure every single one of them are.
Right.
Stupid.
Got some chick in it.
Right. He published many short stories that appeared in Ellery Queen's Mystery Magazine, Alfred Hitchcock's Mystery Magazine, and Alfred, what the freak? And Alfred Hitchcock's Anthology.
Oh, good for him. Look at them.
He's getting Alfred
Just stop.
He's getting Alfred's books. Alfred Hitchcock. There we go. You say Hitchcock 5 times fast?
Hitchcock.
And turn into Hiscock.
Hiscock. Nussbaum published several novels, Gypsy being the most well-known. It was published by Scholastic Press under the title
Scholastic.
Motorcycle Racer. In the mid-'70s, Nussbaum wrote television scripts for Switch, which was a CBS crime series featuring Robert Wagner and Eddie Albert.
Yeah, man. Switch.
In the 1980s, Nussbaum put on workshops for mystery writers at USC, and he was elected president of the Southern California chapter of the Mystery Writers of America.
Do they even know this guy's a murderer?
I'm sure they do. Albert Frederick Nussbaum died in 1996 at the age of 61, and that's where his... Damn, 61? Poor guy. And that's where his story ends, but at least he got out and made something of himself, right?
Yeah, man. Good stuff for him. Decided not to rob anymore and loved writing.
If it wasn't for reaching out to Dan J. Marlowe, and Marlowe being a weird guy, like, yeah, random prisoner, I'll take friends with you.
Just think if he was interested in writing when he was younger.
Right? Could have just avoided the life crime altogether.
Life of crime altogether
Or maybe
avoided.
he wouldn't have been good at mystery writing.
Right.
And crime writing, because he wouldn't have known the ins and outs.
Yeah, he would have wrote about colors of flowers or something then.
That'd be pretty boring.
Right.
Flowers.
Flowers.
Some flowers are blue.
I seen a red flower today. Not the red that you think. It was a weird looking
more
red.
more of a scarlet red.
Right.
With a little dab of yellow in the middle. Not sure how I felt about it.
I still don't know.
I have an overwhelming sense of sadness come over me.
But I do know one thing. I'd like to see that flower again.
Yeah, good for Nussbaum.
Right,
Not so
Nussbaum.
good for Wilcoxson.
No. And what happened to Perry?
Curry.
Or Curry.
Curry, he was just arrested.
Right, we don't know about that guy.
He's really never part of the story.
Right.
Except for he's the reason why the FBI found
Right.
who they did. But,
Yeah.
nice little short one for you guys.
What are you going to do, right?
Probably about half hour-ish, maybe. I mean, they
Somewhere
can't all
around
be like next week's or like the last week's DB Cooper, 2 parts, and next week episode will be at least 2 parts.
Hey, man, they all can't be home runs, bud.
Right.
Got to hit a double here.
Double, right. Were you born on third base?
I was born halfway between third and home.
United States Airline Flight 629 bombing is our next week's episode,
Yeah.
which took place November 1st, 1955. And this is a pretty messed up story.
This
once
is actually
we
a,
get into it.
a bombing.
It is a bombing. No survivors. Let's just put it that way. But
Right.
pretty long story. Everything to be everything about the investigation and everything else afterwards. We will cover it as we usually do. That's at least we could stretch it into a 1-parter if we do like an hour and a half, 45-minute episode. But
Nobody wants that.
I don't think anybody's going to want to listen to an hour 45 minutes. We're not Joe Rogan.
No.
Yeah.
We're talking about that's just for the first quarter of his show.
I know. That's next week's episode. And I think we have a couple more coming down the pipeline here. Maybe do something on the Watergate. Got a lot.
Right.
There's stuff. There's so many bank robberies and heists and all
Right.
that stuff in the 80s and 90s, and we still got gangs and all that. There's so much
man.
stuff to do here on Outlaws and Gunslingers. If you guys are interested in the Civil War and American history and stuff like that, you can go check out our other podcast.
Same thing you're getting here, bud.
Pretty much on the Bang Dang Network, called the Battles of the American Civil War, where you know what the title says. We go through every battle of the American Civil War from first to last, and yeah, Battles of the American Civil War from first to last, Sumter to whatever the last battle was. Can't remember what it was. But
But we're going up to Bull Run.
we are almost up to Bull Run.
Mm-hmm.
We got about 8 battles in. We got about 8 more battles before Bull Run, and then it all sets off. 1861. It's not that many battles, but then we get to 1862, 63, 64, 65.
We get some murder.
Just every day, multiple battles in multiple states on the same day. Stuff happening all over the place. Right now, the
Crazy.
Union doesn't seem to know how to get their shit together in the early stages of the war, and they're getting dominated by the Confederates all throughout 1861, actually. But
Right.
yeah, that's what we're leading up to. Battle of Bull Run, Battles of the American Civil War, and who cares about Monthly Machine? I mean, why do I always say that? Monday Night Wars Long Wrestling. Monday Night Wars Long. If you like wrestling, go check
Right.
that out. And Lee and Corey on the case. All over on the Bang Dang Network. Just look up Bang Dang Network for all of our podcasts, and we will see you next week for the bombing of United Airlines Flight 629 with Monthly Michiganders with
Bang dang.